Hello, hello, my friends. We have another Kringle Candle Reserve launch happening this Thursday, April 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys know I'm a Kringle Candle brand ambassador. Boy, try saying that a few times fast. And they were kind enough to have sent me the 4 new candles that are going to be part of this collection in PR. So today I wanted to share with you guys some cold snip impressions of the candles. I'm going to give you guys some up close shots of what each of them look like. And fun little addition to this video today. I have actually already burned 3 out of the 4 of these candles a couple of times, so I can give you some initial post-burn thoughts on these candles. Typically, I like to wait until I'm about a third to halfway down in burning a candle before I give you guys a dedicated review. So I don't think that I will have the time to do that this week prior to the launch, but I did want to share some of these like initial thoughts with you guys. And we'll talk about the 4th candle that I haven't gotten around to yet, what my plan is to get some feedback to you guys prior to the launch. So if you enjoy this video, please make sure you hit thumbs up. If you enjoy candle content and you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Katie. I love to talk all things candles. So if you find yourself wanting to stick around, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As always, all of the candles that I am talking about today, I will list down below with timestamps. I will also have all of the fragrance notes listed for you guys, as well as my discount code, price point, all of the information that you guys will want to know. So let's go ahead and talk about these candles. These are in their standard for the Reserve line, I would say. They're translucent black jars. They are 22 ounces of 100% soy wax. There are 2 wicks in this like large tumbler style jar. And let's see, what else did we want to talk about? Price point, $34 on these. The Reserve line doesn't typically go on sale a whole lot. So that's why, the affiliate codes do save you that 15%. Mine is Katie15. Like I said, that's down in the description box for you as well. But yeah, we've had a lot of launches. I feel like spring is like the heavy launch season for Kringle. We're getting in that pattern where it feels like almost every 2 weeks there is a launch. However, I haven't heard any more information about any other launches coming down the pipeline pretty soon. So I think our wallets are safe for a little bit, but we did have Easter launch about a week and a half ago. We had the spring and summer collection come out almost a month ago now. And then we've had a couple of other Reserve launches happen over this year. So exciting stuff. But let's stop talking about all of that. I know you guys are here for the candles. So the first candle that I wanted to talk about is Cherry Cola. So we've got this picture here of just like some fuzzy cherry cola. Fun fact about me, you guys, I actually don't really drink a ton of soda. Every once in a while I do. I've discovered those poppy drinks and I really like those. For me personally, if I'm going to have calories, I'd rather eat them than drink them. Just personal preference. Fragrance notes here on Cherry Cola are cherry, cola, effervescence, ginger, and sweet. And the pour date on this is February 5th, 2025, just for a little bit of a heads up. So, okay, this is one of the fragrances. I am going to tell you guys that of all 4 of these, this is the candle that on Cold Snip I'm a little bit like, about. But I have a feeling that this is also one of those candles. Kringle does this particularly with some of their more conceptual fragrances, where the fragrance I get upon burn smells different than what I'm getting on cold. And I just have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to be one of those fragrances. Like I have this sense that this one's going to transform when I light it up. My nose on cold. Okay, this is interesting. I am getting some of that ginger note in here that is lending to some of that effervescence, I think. This is not straight up super sweet soda like cherry Coke to me. If you guys are familiar with another brand, Hallmarks had their Bing Cherry Cola last year. That to me, right off the bat, smelled very much like soda. This to me is more of like, it's not like the brand name cherry Coke, I guess. Now that's what I'm smelling on cold. When I light it up, could be totally different. But this is not as sweet to me. I feel like a lot of cherry Cokes are very like overly syrupy, sweet, sugary. This focuses more on like the effervescence. And the cherry that I'm getting in here is not medicinal cherry. It's kind of that the cherry that I would get, like the little maraschino cherries that they put in like a Shirley Temple. what those taste like, that's what I'm smelling in here. It's more of like a maraschino cherry than it is like cherry Coke. I guess that's the best way. Sweet. It's not overly sweet. I do get kind of a cola note in here, kind of that like syrupy brown sugariness, I guess. But this is the only one that I have not burned yet. Now, my plan is to light this up actually this afternoon or evening that I'm filming this. So what I will do is that you guys know that typically on launch days, I will put out a reminder on my community tab here on YouTube. If you're following me over on Instagram, I'll also put it over there. But what I will do is I will actually write out a little bit of a post-burn experience, what I think of this one after I've burned it a couple of times, to give you guys my thoughts on it. But this is the only one I haven't burned yet. And I'm going to say on Cold Snip, this one is actually my least favorite. Not bad, but not really a fragrance that's typically in my wheelhouse. A candle that is in my wheelhouse, and one that I actually thought was going to be my #1 fragrance, but surprisingly, it's not. It's not a bad fragrance, but it's not my #1. This is Lemon Splash. So we have fragrance notes of lemon, citrus zest, sparkling aldehydes, citrus, green, and sugar. This also has a pour date of February 5th, 2025. Now, this candle to me, the lemon in here leans a little bit more cleaner lemon. If you are somebody who likes Homeworks' Sun-Kissed Lemon, if you prefer the lemon note that I would say is in the Kringle's Rosemary Lemon, this is not lemon sugar marshmallow. This is not anywhere near a lemon gourmand. It's not a super sweet sugary lemon. This is more of like your acidic lemon with the lemon rind. I like it. I actually like it, but it is very much like your fresh, juicy, cut through a lemon, maybe even like some lemon zest in there type of lemon. Very, very bright citrus lemon. Can lean a little bit cleaner. I do know that a couple of other ambassadors that I've talked to that have gotten this have said like, oh, it kind of reminds me of Lemon Pledge on right off the bat. It doesn't really remind me of Pledge. I don't get like a cleaner note to it, but I do get lemon. Now, here's the thing. This one, when it is burning, love it. I would say that the strength and throw on this is actually not as strong as I thought it would be, because it's strong on cold sniff. This to me, first couple of burns was about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. Definitely filled up the closed concept. I could smell it as like a background scent out here in the open concept. I've burned this one about 3 times. The one thing I will say about this fragrance is that after I hit about the 3-hour mark on it, there is something in this fragrance that I don't like. There's a note that comes out that I don't always love. It smelled, was it a little bit like bitter? It started to take on, oh, I know what it was. It started to take on kind of that, like almost that like kerosene type of note, which I have never, ever, ever had with a Kringle candle. Now, that fragrance note was not present at all, like for the first 3 hours of the burn. I've only noticed it when I've burned it longer than 3 hours. So I don't know. I think it's just the way that the fragrance notes come together. I do wonder if it's like the aldehydes in there. The base notes on this, I believe, are like citrus, green, and sugar. But I will just tell you guys, like, I like this scent for like the first 3 hours. But after the 3 hours, I don't know, there was something that started to come together that I wasn't really liking, and I did extinguish it. But then when I relit it the next day, I liked it, for those first like 2.5 to 3 hours. And then after that, I was kind of like, getting that weird note. I do think it's the aldehyde note in here that is creating that if I burn it for too long. So, but this was a nice fragrance. This pairs really nicely with, if you happen to have gotten the Shamrock Fields from the St. Patrick's Day collection, I think it pairs really nicely with that. This also pairs very nicely with this candle here, which is White Lotus. And I'm going to tell you, I kind of have a tie. I want to say that this is #2, but actually I think it's like tied for first place. This has been the surprising one that I've really, really enjoyed. So White Lotus has fragrance notes of floral, citrus, dewy green, aldehydes, and musk. And here's the thing. The aldehydes in here is not mixing like the aldehydes with that like bright lemon, because this one I can burn for a longer period of time and I don't get that weird note. But what does this smell like to my nose? This is very clean. It reminds me, and I mean this in the best way, it doesn't smell cheap. It kind of reminds me of my Dove body wash in some ways. Now I use just the deep moisture body wash. Doesn't really have like a noticeable scent other than like it just smells like very clean, kind of creamy, um, slightly perfumey, but not like a perfuminess that would interfere with anything else. I will say that if you are fans of the fragrance Coral that was part of the 2024 release, it's not the same fragrance, but I feel like it's in that family where it's kind of like clean, sort of not really beachy, because there's not anything that reminds me of the beach, but it reminds me of like a very shower fresh, clean vibes without it being overly cologne, overly perfume. Um, it's not laundry cleaner. Um, yeah, I just keep saying like it reminds me of like my Dove body wash, but I actually like it. It's just very clean, but there's kind of a creamy aspect to it as well, but not bakery gourmand creamy. It just makes me think of like a good thick like body wash. That I think that's why I'm like associating it with that. But this I really, really, really enjoy. And if you guys want a great pairing, this I was burning last night with the Country Candle Seaside fragrance. Ooh, the combination. I had this going in my bedroom. I had Seaside out here in the living room. Fantastic combination. It just kind of gave my home like sophisticated, um, clean vibes. That's the best way that I can put it, without it being like fresh cotton or laundry cleaner or even just like cleaning pledge or anything like that. It just you just felt clean smelling it, I guess. But I really, really like this fragrance. Strength and throw on this one has also been about a 7 for me so far. I did find that this performed quite well in the closed concept bedrooms. Out here in the open concept, again, first couple of burns. I did notice, and I can't remember, I filmed a couple of post burn reviews right now on some other candles. And so I'm trying to remember. I think the review that I posted is going up on Monday. But I was talking about in that review that we have actually had some very warm days here in Arizona. And by warm, I mean like 90. So my air conditioning, I actually turned on this week. And what I noticed was when I burned this candle out in my living room, I had it in an area that is close to an air vent. I'm looking at it right there. And I've noticed that when I have the air conditioning on, I actually have to move my candles over to another area of the living room to get better strength and throw because the airflow in the house becomes a little bit more compromised. But so far, I will tell you guys, this one, good performer. Really, really like this. Apparently, there's a TV show called White Lotus. I don't have Netflix. I'm kind of weird, you guys. I don't actually watch a whole lot of TV, but apparently, there's a popular TV show called White Lotus, and I don't know. But the packaging is pretty, and really, really like that fragrance. And I'm going to tell you guys, probably tied for number one is a very different fragrance, but this is Minty Melon. So fragrance notes on Minty Melon are melon, mint leaf, citrus, herbal, sweet, and musk. And all of these have pour dates of February 5th, 2025. Now, this fragrance to me, I'm going to tell you, I like this one a lot. This is definitely watermelon. It's not as candied and sugary as their Watermelon Pops candle that they had in the Country Candle lineup. But it's still that like juicy, kind of sugary, sweet watermelon, not full on Jolly Rancher watermelon. I do get the greenness of like a watermelon rind in here. You do get some of that. And even it says minty. And I would caution you that if you are somebody who is nervous about mint, you see the mint note in there. The mint note is very, very, very subtle. It's not even as present as, say, Bath and Body Works had a watermelon mint candle. Was it last year or the year before? And there was more of a mint note prominent in that candle. It's very, very much like a backseat. I think the mint in this actually lends a little bit more to that green rind note with the watermelon, as opposed to it being like super minty in your face, because I think the mint in here just makes this candle smell a little bit more fresh, but it's not like choking me out mint fragrance. Now, I've only burned this candle once, but I'm going to tell you guys that I was burning this in my bedroom, and I went and ran an errand. I had family home. I went and ran an errand. I came home an hour later, and when I pulled into the garage, I could smell this candle out in the garage. Talk about powerhouse throwing. Like this one, it filled up the master bedroom. I haven't burned it out here in the living room yet, but I was quite impressed that when I pulled into the garage and I opened up the door, I was like, wow, I smell that watermelon candle. It was throwing all the way into the garage. So this one did perform quite well for me. Again, if you are somebody who loves watermelon fragrances, you want a good just a good watermelon scent that doesn't smell too artificial, Jolly Rancher watermelon, but it's still definitely distinctly watermelon. You're gonna like this candle. So, and this one, like I said, first burn had phenomenal performance on it. So those are the 4 candles that will be part of this reserve line. Let me know in the comment box down below if any of these have piqued your interest. I am just going to tell you guys just like off the bat, like here, my 2 recommendations, really, I am really loving the Minty Melon and the White Lotus. Those are probably the 2 that I'm reaching for the most. The White Lotus, surprisingly, I feel like is just like the most versatile one. It pairs really nicely with some of the other candles that I currently have in my collection. And I've really, really been enjoying that one, particularly for evening burns. So once again, these will be available this Thursday, April 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My discount code Katie15 will save you an additional 15%. Maybe there are some of the new spring and summer candles that you have been interested in. You could throw those into your cart. Maybe if you are interested in some of the Easter collection, save on that shipping. Stay tuned, you guys. This week, I will have more spring and summer post-burn reviews up for you guys prior to this launch. So that way, if you've been waiting for some more thoughts, I will be having those up for you guys. So I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.